the first match in the Engage Super League playoffs. Saints 18, Warrington 8. Familiar story. Matty Smith, though, has run the show for St Helens. This fellow began brilliantly. Lee Breers, a couple of wide passes, and they caught Saints cold out wide. Let's see what they've got in the second half. Breers with the kick-off, bounces off the knees of Wellens. Controlled bounce off the knees of Wellens, though, but the chasers have arrived. Solomona leading the charge.
Well, I can't see any different that Mick Potter would have told his chargers at half-time, is that keep those forwards going, get over the advantage line, nothing fancy, just sheer, hard, solid work.
But it worked in the last half hour of the first half, there's no question about that. And nothing fancy from St Helens in the opening 4 tackles here. And there's the kick from Wilkin, which Mathers watches carefully all along the ground. The ball would have been soaking wet when it reached him. Saints have won 12 of 15 playoff games here.
That's a knock on. Mathers has made a right mess of that. And that's the official a bit confused. Matty Smith turning over. Oh, there's a hand in there. There's definitely a hand in there as far as I'm concerned, and I think it belonged to Roby. And that's the reason why he shakes his head, the fullback Richie Mathers. It's a dangerous position with Saints in this mood.
It is. Here is Wilkin. Roby waits at dummy half, 12 metres out. That's Andrew Dixon. Returns following an 8-game absence, young Dixon. And now he gets a penalty.
Take the 2, I reckon.
Well, they're looking.
I think they'll take the 2. I think they'll take the 2.
I think Mauri Farsavalou is coming out with the kicking tee. He is.
Well, we mentioned it, didn't we? That safety first has been the key to St Helens to get back into this game. They were hit with 2 tries. And there's the big fella. He said, little fella, Mick Potter, said we're going to take 2.
Well, the challenge for Warrington gets even bigger. And if they want to rewrite history and win here for the first time in 16 years, they're going to have to do something this season they haven't done also. They haven't come from behind in a second match of a big game when they've trailed by this number of points. This is now a massive test for the Warrington club. The mental toughness, resilience and skill of their players will be tested like it hasn't been before here.
23 times they've tried and failed in away games against St Helens at Warrington Wolves. 22 of them here. 1 was at Anfield, the home of Liverpool Football Club. But Jamie Foster here with the opportunity to increase the pressure. It's for a 12-point advantage. 12 points it is, and Warrington now have to score 3 times. 20 points to 8, Saints. Well, they're entering the playoffs second in the table again. In 2005, they became the only table-topping side not to make it to Old Trafford. Injuries that year certainly tripped them up. They've had injuries here today, and they've had injuries all season. But Mick Potter has covered the cracks remarkably. He really has. The young players have come to the fore, like this fella playing it now, Jamie Foster.
Well, again, that was effectively a shot at the sideline from Lee Breers. He hit that ball so hard, aiming to get the ball to bounce and then go over the side of the play. But the skills from the St Helens players under great pressure and in these conditions has been significantly better than those from Warrington. Not losing possession in the tackle is a harder thing than what you imagine when there are people wrestling you to the ground like that and the ball is slippy. They control possession very well of the guys in the white jersey with the red V's.
And here they come again with Paul Clough. Winners tonight will have next weekend off. They'll go towards grand final via a match in a fortnight's time. And the intriguing thing is, if St Helens do win here tonight, and if Leeds, the champions, beat Wigan on Sunday, it would be St Helens who would have the choice of matches in the now famous club call, the moment in 2 weeks' time when the team standing highest in the table will get the choice of who they play to get to Old Trafford. Leeds took the pick last year. They took on Catalan Dragons and made it. Lee Breers has just slipped over. Ben Westwood has lost the ball. And Saints will get head and feed on halfway.
Well, it was a wonderful start, wasn't it, by Lee Breers, involved in the first two tries, and slips there. Bad conditions.
Do you know, Eddie, I think it's things like that that win matches. I know a try scorer gets his name in the paper and on a website the next day who's registered the points, but the pressure that Andrew Dixon put on Lee Breers there, effectively, he's turned the possession over to his side in such a better position, and straight away Rob was on the break.
It's a great run from Roby. And Warrington now, all hands to the pumps. Here is Gardner.
I think St Helens realise they can finish this game off. A try here, and I just could not see the Wolves getting back into the game.
Matty Smith, oh, he went behind Wilkin. Wilkin had to apply the brakes. Monaghan over the top of him. The referee shouts dominant. It's a dominant tackle. It allows Monaghan just a second or two longer to lie on the player before he's given the shout move, which you've just heard there from referee Richard Silverwood again. Graham, he slips under the challenge of Anderson. He got a clatter there, did Graham.
Where's Matty Smith now?
Here he is, drop goal from Matty Smith.
Missed.
He's missed it.
Well, not a bad option. He's running hot as a guy. Just pulls it to the left.
A bit hurried, that's all.
Would have been very interesting there, but could that be a little bit of a change in the game?
He's played in the playoff once for St Helens, 2007 at Leeds. 3 goals in a 10-8 win. He was admitted, though, for Old Trafford. Now those to Westwood, who was standing still. Here is Bridge. Comes wide to Matt King. Wilkin had a claw at him and missed him. Good run from King. Monaghan waits. Now Breers. Breers slides the kick in.
Wonderful work there by the youngster.
Let's go downstairs to Bill.
Eddie, and he's been waiting patiently on the sidelines, and Richie Myler is out there, and the action, he really has been chomping at the bit to get out there, and he was immediately chasing that kick from Lee Breers, and that possibly might be a way back into this game for the Warrington Wolves. Just have to tell you, I've been sitting down here getting drenched this evening, and the rain has got heavier and heavier, and Saints have been doing it right, been doing the hard yards straight up the middle. They've been playing the conditions so much better, and the conditions are getting worse.
Yes, it's pretty grim out there. This is Wilkin though, and he gets the ball away to Willows. Solomona comes in with the tackle. Last tackle for St Helens here, and it's with Matty Smith again. This time a little dab in behind the Warrington defence. The ball's come free. He grounded the ball.
Good job as well. And again, a superb kick through. He is teasing them, isn't he? And Myler, ooh, I'm not so sure he gets that down.
Well, whilst we're watching this replay, Warrington is showing through Lee Breers they're still wanting this fight. I think he does just about, with some part of his body, ground the ball.
It's a big call from Richard Silverwood.
Certainly is.
With the torso, isn't it? The actual wordage. And did it go underneath him? Anyway, it's academic now, but it's the 4th goal line dropout that Saints have forced. And here they come again. Now Cooper was high.
Well,
was high on Jake Emmett.
They're out with the kicking tee. They're doing everything right, St Helens. Mick Potter has got the tactics right. A bloke called Cooper hasn't. He's gone high, they're frustrated. And I think it's time that Tony Smith realises he's got to get the likes of Adrian Morley back out there. They need something to spark this side back into action. There he is. Whether he's got an injury or not, I don't know. But they do need some leadership out there, and he looks extremely concerned as Morley.
Wonder if he's taken a knock.
Well, that's the only reason why I can't understand why Tony Smith wouldn't have brought him back on.
He's waited a long time to get Myler introduced, hasn't he? And remember, he was a sub in the cup. Oh, here he comes. He's coming back out. Is Adrian Morley, but Myler, a sub in the cup semi-final as well, and try and a goal in the cup semi-final win. So we're hoping that Myler might weave a bit of magic here, but Foster, meanwhile, He has the chance to make it 22 points to 8. And at 22 points to 8 it is. 8-0, Warrington led. 22-8 now. Well, they're clapping and cheering, the Saints fans.
You talk about the fact that, you know, Myler's out on the field of play. Yeah, they were looking towards magic, but they realise that it's got to be Myler that's got to lead the way there. Lead by example and try to get them to get into some sort of spark. They've been absolutely battered by the St. Helens pack.
Playoffs underway, of course, in the Engage Super League, and playoffs also in the Championship. And Barrow, beaten by Sheffield Eagles 21-14 tonight, saw Featherstone get through to the grand final yesterday on Sky Sports. They played Halifax, who get the home tie now against Sheffield next Thursday, 7:30 on Sky Sports 3. Playoffs, playoffs and more playoffs. That's a lovely kick from Matty Smith. Oh, he just couldn't take it in, Gardner.
Well, I said earlier that Matty Smith is just completely teasing this Warrington outfit. Just a split too late there. It's a beautifully little weighted tip over, though.
You know, Eddie, it's rare in a game of rugby league for possession to be so one-sided, but at the moment, St. Helens have had 100 play the balls in the match, as opposed to just 58 for Warrington. So you can see with over 40 play the balls more than your opponents, you've got a greater chance of applying pressure, draining their energy and scoring points, which is what they've effectively done.
3 changes, as you can see, by Tony Smith to try and turn this game around in the last half hour.
Well, they've never laid the platform of their Warrington, especially through the forwards. They give the likes of Michael Monaghan and Lee Breers an opportunity. And this is probably the first time they've been in the opposition half for about 10 minutes.
Here goes Anderson. Now then, you get the feeling that Warrington need to score this set of 6, but they've reached the last tackle already. Breers stabbed the kick in. That's far too hard. Just lost his spark a bit as Lee Breers.
He just hasn't had that many opportunities, has he? They've got to try to force the error now, because it'll be up the jumper time again. It's been an absolute wonderful display by these young St. Helens forwards. Share the work.
Dixon. Morley stepping over the top of Dixon. Here is Gardner.
That's good refereeing by Richard Silverwood, you know. He realises his back conditions are getting pretty tired. It's going to be a little bit loose and untidy at the play of the ball.
Wilkins'
it's a nice kick.
Is over the top of Mathers, and it just didn't stay in the in-goal area. Here comes Riley. I've seen much of Chris Riley tonight.
I think the lapse in concentration that St. Helens had last week, Eddie, when they played Castleford, let them get back into the game, didn't they? They had, what, almost a 20-point advantage, and it ended up at 30 points all at one stage. I think that's really focused the minds of St. Helens today. They want to go for the full 80 minutes of this match. I was looking at James Graham then, they're instantly back in position to ready to defend.
Well, that's better by the forwards. Carvel taking it over the advantage. Monaghan, good scoop, that should be a penalty. And it is.
Yes, Monaghan got the penalty then by, again, he invited the man standing out of position to tackle him and touch him. In fact, he ran straight at him.
Yeah, smart player. Can they make it pay?
Well, they have to, you get the feeling here, they have to. Monaghan directing the traffic, says we're going that way, and they are with Westwood. Monaghan again in his usual hooking role now that Myler is out there. There he is. And the pass was too hard in these conditions. Nothing that Carvel could do about that. It was a bullock pass from about 5 metres.
You're right, Eddie. It's the wrong thing to do when the ball is wet. Came like an express train. Didn't find the luggage compartment on that occasion, but look how St. Helens just straight down the middle, no fuss, nothing fancy, just good, solid, hard work. Old-fashioned, I call it, but boy, it's effective. And he won't mind if that goes dead and go. He won't mind.
The third tackle, look. They're just buying the land, aren't they? They're just taking out a mortgage on the Warrington territory, Justin.
They are, and they're backing themselves to defend well. That's what they're doing at the moment. Warrington look a little bit frustrated when they got the ball. They're not finishing their sets where they would want to finish their sets. Even a couple of kicks from Lee Breers look like they've been searching for something rather than worrying about where they're going to finish. And they've been also making it very easy for St Helens. Their dummy half running has been excellent. Paul Wellens in his second half for St Helens has been fantastic.
And Kieran Cunningham has returned, which isn't music to the ears of the Warrington supporters, I would imagine. Now then, here is Breers. And Bridge just stretched for it and nudged it forward.
It's not his night, Lee Breers.
Started well.
Yeah, the glory. First 10 minutes. That's a shocker. And he knows it too.
Well, he's back, of course, where it all began. Former St Helens halfback. His 352nd appearance for Warrington. He got 8 goals in their only Super League defeat of St Helens 2001 at Wilderspool. He left Saints 13 years ago, you know. And of course, goes without saying, he's never won here since.
And not likely to with producing passes like that. So I got the impression he was giving his teammates a real rollicking at the fact that they weren't moving onto the ball. It was a bad pass.
Cunningham and Roby combining, Morley and Harrison combining to quell the threat on halfway. Third tackle.
You know, there's a real furrow, isn't there, right down the middle that those Saints forwards have ground out time and time again. Picked up a knock.
Yeah, Graham's struggling. Cunningham. Oh, how on earth did he hang on to that?
Boy, that was good by Roby, wasn't it? Had to lean back for it. Not the best. It was a lazy pass.
Off the boot of Matty Smith. It goes high in the air. Riley drops it. Here's Wellens. Here's Wellens inside. And a try for Flannery.
This will be given.
Doesn't go upstairs to the video referee. Richard Silverwood. Was Riley taken out? Chris Flannery with the try anyway. It's academic now. And the referee, of course, could easily have had a look. But he decided against it. Got the call from his touch judge, no doubt. And backed his own judgment. And Flannery comes up with a try that just might see Saints into the qualifying semi-final in a fortnight's time.
Well, this was a rarity in this game, a high kick. Did Foster make contact? I think he did. They got the rub of the green. Wellens has had an absolutely wonderful game. Inside pass to Flannery. Is he onside? Oh, it's close, it's tight. Either way, they've got away with it. Riley will be claiming that he's taken out by Foster. He goes for it. He's certainly suspended in the air when there's contact. But they've got the rub of the green. Whilst everyone was looking around for the decision from the referee, Wellens said, I've been around too long for that. Wasn't that beautiful? You see the fend? You see how he twisted his body? He knew that there was support there.
Chris Flannery, 90th St Helens appearance. His try against Warrington here in the Challenge Cup in 2008. Saints won 40-34, Warrington's last cup defeat. And they're on their way to defeat in the opening shots of the playoffs, 26-8, Saints lead.
I think
Question mark about this?
Yeah, I think it's a bit unfortunate, Riley. And I'm sure that Tony Smith, the Warrington coach, may have a few words to say about that, because the touch judge is there in a good position. Richard Silverwood, to be fair to him, had a very good look over there, and Foster takes it sublimely.
Short kick-off from Warrington didn't come up. And news of James Graham, seen him struggling second half, Bill.
Yeah, well, while all that was going on and Saints were going off over again, James Graham was going off. He went into a tackle and, as we saw, was left on the deck and took some time to get out. He's looking really groggy. He's gone back to the dressing room now for treatment, but he really did look very shaky indeed.
Warrington is shaky. That was a knock-on by Warrington. It's head and feet to Saints.
You know, Eddie, if we go back to that last try, one thing it's probably underlined is that something we've not spoken about in the playoffs. You need an element of luck. You need some refereeing decisions occasionally to go your way, as we see Richie Myler just get his fingers to that ball. This will be a scrum head and feet to St Helens. But I think we also forgot to compliment just the skill from Paul Wellens to pick up the loose ball off the floor at pace while still moving. Brilliant for me.
And in these conditions as well, makes it doubly so. Here's Flannery coming up to the hour mark. Saints looking to put this game to bed now. Cunningham goes wide with Gidley. Gidley is halted by 3. Cunningham again. Cunningham! Ooh, so close once more. Roby waits. Fires the pass inside to Matty Smith. Now, Hargreaves. Hargreaves onto Flannery.
Well, will we see them go for broke, or will they go for the tried and tested, the kick? Smith's in a good position. Here it comes. Oh, it slipped. That'll be the turnover.
Yes, he slipped. Morley missed him, but Ben Harrison didn't.
He may have done himself a favour if he's positioned himself a little bit. Oh, there's got to be a penalty. Surely they won't stand in square. And it's well spotted by Richard Silverwood, who I must say, I'm about to agree with you, Eddie. He's had a fine game.
Michael Monaghan just asked for the penalty then. And Richard Silverwood obliged.
Eddie, 20 minutes is a long time in a game of rugby league. If Warrington get one try, they've got nothing to lose. They've become a dangerous side. The conditions are against them, but they can throw the ball around like nobody else in this competition.
Yeah, but they need the try, Justin, don't they? That's what they need. That's the key to it for them.
Well, that's what they would love, but most probably more important that they just need a good finish to their set. The last 2 or 3 times they've been down here, they've had a poor kick or they've dropped the ball. So a good finish to the set first and foremost. A try would be a bonus. I agree with Phil. I think there's enough time in the game for them to get back into it.
Can Warrington do a Saints on Saints? Here is Anderson. To within 3 metres of the line.
They've got to get back to having a little bit more confidence as well. Early in the game, they had dummy runners. They're all working off the ball, and Monaghan's gone close.
He has, but he's forced back by sheer weight of numbers. This is the last tackle for Warrington. Myler slides the kick in. It ricochets off of St Helens' leg. It's picked up by Andrew Dixon. But look where St Helens are. They have to begin this attack 2 metres away from their own line. Warrington now will hunt the mistake.
They won't worry, they've got themselves sorted out. Roby's already shouting before he went into the dummy half, just saying, come on, who's going to be next?
Melly's gone down there. It was really the meat in the sandwich then.
You may have heard the arm.
Yes, Melly receiving treatment. There's a problem there as Gardner plays the ball to Cunningham. That's good defence from Westwood. That's good defence from Warrington. 14 metres gained forward. The kick is charged down by Bridge. A chance here for Warrington. They will score. Chris Bridge will score for Warrington. Charged down, and that's a play on. And Bridge picks it up and goes over the line. That's the break that Warrington were needing. And Chris Bridge has come up with it. He returned from 9 out last week against Harlequins. He got 20 points, 2 tries and 6 goals. He injured the shoulder against Leeds in June. They thought he was out for the season, but here is a lifeline that he's thrown the Warrington Wolves.
Well, in the first half, it was Saints that had the rub of the green, and they've got this one there. Wilking took an eternity to get that ball away. Little bit lax there, but good work from Bridge. Took the opportunity. As Eddie has mentioned, the rule is charge down, play on. Calm, cool and collected. Maybe.
Well, Bridge scores the try. Bridge tries to add the conversion and misses. Vital. The goal kicking, vital. And Warrington haven't got one yet. 3 tries, they've missed with 3 conversion attempts.
Well, it could give them that lift, but as I say, it would have been an extra boost if the extra 2 points had gone on. Well, he forces a smile, does Tony Smith, but I think he realises deep down that he has been absolutely hammered and battered by this St Helens pack tonight. They've been outstanding.
Well, Tony Smith isn't showing much sign of concern. No matter what happens tonight, of course, they do go for a second chance if they lose.
But he wanted to win this one, Eddie. You don't try to go second time.
No, definitely not. But they do get a home tie next week, don't they?
Yep.
If they lose, but there's 14 points and there's about 15 minutes yet.
It's all about building your confidence. And if they let in another try, you can guarantee that Saints will look for even more. Because it's getting to that point now where they know they can gamble. Never mind going for 2 points.
There'll be another 2 points here for St Helens, at least.
Yep. Out comes the tee.
Well, Monaghan's the last man in, but it was Morley who was high.
Yeah, Morley that went round the neck. And he just has a little look at Mr. Silverwood and says, I'm sorry, I got that as quick as I could.
What a brilliant response from St Helens. Having conceded a try, the pressure's on you a little bit, they put the ball high in the air, and Andrew Dixon again, a player who's just left the field for a breather, was keen enough to get up there, chase, knock the ball back to his teammates, and all of a sudden, from what could have been a potentially nervous 60 seconds, with Warrington in possession, looking for a back-to-back try, all of a sudden he's tapped it back to his teammates, and now we're waiting for Jamie Foster to add 2 more points. That is a great team, a confident side. Paul Clough, one of his teammates there on the sideline. They've got some good young players here who live and breathe in a great culture.
Haven't we seen some wonderful kickoffs tonight? Some short ones, some ones that have been nailed towards the sideline. It's fantastic to see teams trying that in such pressure situations.
Foster obliges with the 2 points. 28-12.
And how about the confidence and the cockiness of this guy? As he was about to approach to kick the penalty, he looked at the official and said, Warrington, I'm behind the whitewash. And Silverwood said, get yourself back over.
Mick Potter will be very proud of whatever legacy he leaves here at Nosey Road when he goes to Bradford at the end of the campaign. The chance that there is still a chance that he might end up being the only St Helens coach never to win anything in terms of silverware in the Super League era. But just look at the names that he has produced this season. There's a bit of a debate here for who gets head and feed. St Helens do. There's Emmett out there, there's Dixon, there's Foster.
Well, Roby's knocked on there, but they've deemed that right from the kickoff, the Warrington hand has got to it. I'm not so sure whether Gidley got there first either way. It's, St Helens will not be bothering with it. So unlike Saints, but the tactics, brilliant. Some people might call it boring, Eddie, but it was brilliant.
Didn't he give head and feet to St Helens? Warrington have the ball.
I don't know how that came about. Has he changed it?
I missed that. We all did, because Warrington are in possession. Or did Warrington win it again? Warrington fed. Well, he must have changed his mind, because he definitely indicated St Helens.
I saw the arm go up.
Breers delays the pass and finds Bridge. King's outside him. Woof!
Oh, that was a high shot from Melly. Should be a penalty. They'll play advantage, and then he'll come back, surely. Well, he hasn't.
The touch judge, by the way, to clear up the mystery, he said St Helens originally, and then he said, sorry, referee, I meant Warrington. That's why Myler's in possession. Here is Anderson. This is Atkins.
Great defence. Man of the moment, Smith again.
Monaghan gives it to Myler. High kick from Myler, looking for Bridge. Off the legs of Melly. He'll pick it up. Melly will turn it inside to Wilkin, and he will take the tackle. McKing to the rescue.
By King. Took a huge gamble there just to hang on as long as he could, try to get his defence sorted out. Done it again. 2 on the trot from King.
Hargreaves.
Boy, hasn't he got through some work.
13 to go. 16 points the difference. Great kick. Was that in the 40-20 area? Matty Smith's asking.
Yeah.
Matty Smith's asking.
And should get.
Well, he's given head and feet to Warrington.
He was over the 40, only by a metre
Was he?
or so. Definitely over.
Does he step over? Yes, he does. Well spotted there by our guest.
And by the ref.
Yep.
Justin might have had that shot on his monitor there, I'm not sure.
No, he's got good eyes.
Get a few carrots, eh, Justin, today?
That's what it is, night vision.
Atkins now for Warrington.
Boy, haven't St Helens done a good job on this Warrington outfit. The defence and the way that they're just plodded through old-fashioned style rugby league.
That's a penalty, though, against Cunningham. Should have been. Morley was trying desperately to get to his feet. The thing is, we said coming to the game today, if ever Warrington are going to beat St Helens, tonight's the night. But I've counted now, I think we've said that 12 times, Phil, over the last 15, 16 years.
Well, they might get one more chance, possibly in 2 weeks' time, if things pan out that way. But as it stands at the moment, there's just something, isn't there? I don't think they'll ever win at this ground. Good kick over the top. And, you know, confidence is an invisible commodity in sport. I just wonder what this is doing to Warrington's confidence at the moment.
That's play on.
It is, and he's wiped the tackle count down. It was an ambitious kick wide. Riley lost it backwards, then the Saints man lost it. Now Anderson's lost it.
Great defence, and St Helens celebrate. Beautiful chip over. Riley gets it first hand, then intercepted by Foster, then he drops it under a lot of pressure from Ryan Atkins, and then Anderson comes up with the error.
Well, Warrington supporters, I must say, not their team and not their coach, but they strutted into Knowsley Road today because they came into this match on the back of 5 straight League and Cup wins. They, I'm sure, the Warrington faithful, thought this was the night.
Well, it looked that way, didn't it, in the opening minutes? 2 quick tries by King. They looked in a huge, big hole, didn't they, St Helens? But number 34, the man called Matty Smith, not only dug them out of it, started building too. His kicking game has been superb. He's lost that. Touch judge hasn't seen it, went back.
Of course, Saints also won 6 in a row in Super League coming into the playoffs, so their confidence is sky high. And the way it stands at the moment, they get the rest next week. Warrington have to go again, and in knockout football as well. Another charge down, this time from Breers. Hacked forward by Bridge. Wellens is too quick, though, surely. Brilliant from Wells.
Any youngster watching that, take note. Notice how he dived and made sure that he protected his body, put his arms out either side and slid towards the ball. Fantastic.
Hasn't the back three of St Helens been excellent
Watch this.
tonight?
That is superb skill.
You see there the collection from Wellens, but A.D. Gardner with his dummy half carries has been wonderful. We've been talking about Jamie Foster, and it's quite easy sometimes for outside backs in these conditions to say, oh, this is not fantastic conditions, not really built for a player that's in the outside backs. But the back three from St Helens have been excellent tonight. Looked for a lot of work and tidied up a lot of loose ball as well.
Been to the last 4 grand finals, Saints. Can they make it an equal record with the Bulls and make it 5 in a row?
Good take from Riley, though.
It was a good take from Riley.
Oh, beautiful tackle. He's had a big game as Roby, hasn't he? They all have in the St Helens colours. Long wide, out wide.
From Mathers to Atkins. Back inside, it's a gift.
Where was the support from Warrington? A golden opportunity to get good meters forward, and there was no one in support.
Roby, Pulatua. Cunningham is scheming again at dummy half.
Oh, he wants to be a little bit shorter to the line first.
Roby went without it, though. The runner
That'll be a knock
was
on,
Wilkin,
no
I think.
Oh, he's allowed play on.
No, it wasn't Wilkin, it was Matty Smith.
Well, he's only come up with 2 errors as Matty Smith throughout this game. He's been outstanding.
This is Paul Wood now, down to Bill.
Still no sign of James Graham coming out of that Saints dressing room. That's the one worry from tonight's very satisfying performance. And James Graham has been in there for a long time now. Remember, he came off the field really looking very groggy indeed. Takes an awful lot to shake James Graham up, and somebody did that out there.
Good ball from Breers, finds King. Takes on A.D. Gardner on the outside and then crawls a few metres further forward. Melly comes in and finishes him off on the deck and has hurt him, taking the wind right out of his sails. He looks at the touch judge, Matt King, and says, was that legal? Here's John Clark. Breers off the boot and high. Plenty of red and green over there. Foster safe. How good's this kid?
Yeah, what a fight. Confidence breeds confidence. And what a great game he's had. But there hasn't been a bad one in the Saints' colours tonight.
Well, time now running out for Warrington.
We knew it was going to be a tough, hard struggle in the conditions, Eddie, but Warrington have just been blitzed by the forwards down that middle, time and time again. Quick thinking by the wonderful hooker James Roby, controlling the kicking game of Matt Smith has been outstanding.
Here comes Mothersville, only as far as Gidley. Atkins. Gidley again working hard at marker. Pulatua is in there also. So too Matty Smith, who has distinguished his reappearance at Nosey Road. A tremendous performance from him.
It certainly is when you look at the fact, no Price, no Lomax, no Eastman.
Westwood.
I mean,
disappears under the big figure of Soliola.
This would have been one of the very few occasions, Eddie, that Saints perhaps would have started this game as underdogs.
Yes, they were slight underdogs coming into this because of the injuries and because of the disruption, particularly around the halfbacks. But Matty Smith seems to have solved that tonight. Breers, that's a lovely little dink. And that's a great ball to Bridge. But that's not the best pass from Bridge. And here goes Foster. This kid has played really well. Playoff debut tonight. Is he in the running for Young Player of the Year? He should be.
You're right there. And talk about work ethic. He's out there on the right wing. Where does he pop up? On the left-hand side. Teamwork has been outstanding. Do you know, I wish I could give the Man of the Match award to all the forwards for the work that they've done. St. Helens forwards, that is.
The St. Helens crowd now taunting Warrington. You'll never beat St. Helens. 5 minutes to go. Soliola, Pulatua, Smith. This now is Flannery. Flannery helps it on, and he finds Jake Emmett. Another one of the bright young things in his playoff debut, only 21. Matty Smith, nice dink over the top. Matt King drops it. Picked up and dropped by Matty Smith. They play the first knock on.
He knew that advantage was going to give him a try. They certainly deserved one. It was a beautifully weighted kick. Real mess up by King. And this is a run from Foster. This is the right winger out on the left-hand side. What a tremendous... Listen to this crowd here. They weren't all that confident. I spoke to a lot of the Saints fans a couple of hours before kick-off, and they said, oh, we've got so many injuries. But the spirit and the fight.
Well, Warrington supporters heading for the exits, and the St. Helens supporters standing to cheer their team to the rafters at the end. Here is Wilkin. Come what may, there will be another match here at Nosey Road, and it will be a game that will take, or they hope it will take, St. Helens all the way to Old Trafford. Saints will enter the draw on one side, and the winners tomorrow night will enter the draw on the other. Saints are 80 minutes away from another Old Trafford appearances.
Will Roby go special? No, out wide.
This is Pulatua. So close.
Come on, Roby. Sneak one in.
That'll upset the Warrington fans. You sound like a St. Helens supporter. Here is Wood. I know you're a chairman of the Hookers Union. I know what you mean.
He's had a brilliant game.
Oops. This is Atkins. Atkins keeps the movement going for Warrington. Hacks it forward. Ambitious. Gardner, though, to the rescue. More news on James Graham, Bill.
use on the big prop forward. He is dazed. That's the verdict from the Saints medical team. He was very dazed when he came off the field, but he's improving, and he's feeling a lot better in the dressing room, but he was shaken up. I have to say, Eddie, that Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, Saints' new recruit from Harlequins, is among the crowd here tonight. He must be licking his lips and getting on the pitch with this great St Helens pack, who really have worked their socks off this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Dream move for Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook.
He'll have to play well in order to get himself involved at training, because this has been a wonderful effort, you know, by all the Saints youngsters.
It has, it really has.
It's the teamwork.
Nick Fossard's on his way, of course. Bryn Hargreaves is on his way, so there is space for Louis McCarthy.
Well, the club have made no secret of the fact that he will be classified as the fourth prop. How's that for Deb? And how's that for a beautiful kick yet again? The maestro tonight. Take a bow.
Well, I think you can probably guess the way this fellow has played tonight, that Bill will be interviewing him shortly as the man of the match. Matty Smith. And you'll never beat St Helens. Mr Stevenson has made his choice 2 minutes early. It was that obvious.
I could have done it 20 minutes earlier. He's had an outstanding game, and he's controlled it. And to come, you know, right at the end of the season, and the way he's controlled it, is this going to be a try?
No. It's a knock on. It's head and feed to Warrington.
Saints look as though they're enjoying it. Yeah, knock on. No doubt about it. He's done his work. He'll be happy because of they've worked hard, they shared it all around.
The quiet man of the Super League.
Yep.
Mick Potter.
Don't get much out of him, but what you do is pretty good.
It's tremendous that he's going to be staying with us in the Super League next year. And just hearing that Richie Myler has limped from the field, which won't help Warrington for next week. Monaghan replaces him, if there's anything wrong with Myler, that is, seriously. This now is Paul Wood. Wood will drive it forward a bit further. St Helens will march on. Warrington will have to come again next week. It's elimination football for Warrington from here on in. It's one game away from another grand final at Old Trafford for the Saints. Monaghan crossfield kick to Matt King, who drops it backwards. Solomona just gives it away, and here comes Melly. Melly will hack it downfield. Was he taken out by Frears? He was. It's a penalty.
It won't make any difference. Will they go for the 2 points? Go for the 2.
Well, they may as well, because the siren sounded. They have to take the penalty.
Or will Wallens just tap it and say, let's get in the dressing room, fellas? Here we go. See you later. It's all over now.
Well, this agony goes on for Warrington. Matty Smith has returned from Salford. I can tell you, Sean McRae advised him wholeheartedly to come and play for St Helens in the playoffs. Nothing illegal what St Helens have done. He is still their registered player till December the 1st. But Matty Smith said to Sean McRae, what do you think I should do? And without a doubt, because he's his player next year at Salford, Sean said to Matty Smith, go and take part. It will do you the world of good. And it has, because he's won the man of the match tonight.
He's been outstanding, Eddie, and fully deserved it. But I must say, the St Helens forwards, led by Roby, and when Kieran Cunningham was out there, the youngsters just run off them. They played so hard, their defence was solid. Okay, they were shaky in the opening 5 minutes, but they were superb tonight.
Yeah.